Yo, Stale Mills, what's the deal, man? Yo, peep game. Just dropped my daughter off at middle school. Man, I had a fucking 8th grader and a 13-year-old, bro. It's kind of aggravating. It's aggravating as all hell, man. But, man, niggas is getting older out here, man. But peep game, though, man. I'm on the line last night on the book, that goddamn Blue app. And one of Buzz Rellos posted a picture of him with all of his belts, pretty much like him sitting down and his belts kind of surrounding him, and his accolades and everything. You know, of all the accolades he's amassed over this, 10-year period of him being a professional athlete. And I hashtag Nebraska up under the picture. What's this nigga name? New York nigga, man. His name like Kwame or something like that. You dig? Real big Spence supporter. Real big Spence supporter, man. He gonna like comment up under my pictures, rolling his eyes and laughing and shit like, oh, in Nebraska or whatever the fuck ever, man. I'm like, man, fuck out of here. I'm like, you know what it is, bruh. Like, your man spent I don't know how many years running from me. And that's what we gotta really talk about and unpack today. Did Earl Spence really run from Bud? Did he run from, I was finna say Manny Pacquiao, did he run from Bud? And when you fully break that situation down in its totality, you have no other choice but to say, yeah, he did. And, granted, his PBC promotional team enabled him in the process, because, I mean, when they would have fights on that particular side of the street, they wouldn't even bring up his graphic image in the fucking in the discussion. Like, I don't even know if them cats was even pound for pound at that time. I don't even think Spence was on the pound for pound list. They would bring up his name. They wouldn't even bring up his name. If that's not everything starts uphill and it trickles down. If that isn't obvious as it can get, then I don't know what else to tell you, man. I mean, that's where it started. You dig? Niggas not even bringing his name up. Like, come on, y'all know. The public, the hardcores in particular, have been clamoring for a fight between Bud and Spence since Thurman was a champion. You dig? Like I said, they usurped Thurman even when he was a champion, and the HNIC in the division, like all these sports shows he would go on, it would be Bud and Spence. Are we gonna get a fight between you and Spence? Are we gonna get a fight between you and Spence? And that's just what it was, man. So the boxing public was clamoring for that fight. We was clamoring for it. And keep that shit a stack. I don't even think, Bud wasn't even he wasn't even a welterweight at the time. He wasn't even a welterweight. When Bud was making his bones on like First Take and ESPN and shit, he was still he was a junior welterweight. So why exactly are we, I don't see how you can just gloss over that, like, you know what I'm saying, and disregard it as if it's a non-issue. Alright, so whatever, you got that. So now Bud run up on him in Oklahoma. I forget what fight it was at. They see each other in the hallway, and this shit went viral. Bud told him, you can't be the boogeyman when I'm chasing you, my nigga. Like, what is you talking about? They put a $1 million bet on the line. Spence talking to us, I'm gonna crush you, I'm gonna knock you out. That shit gonna be easy. I'm knocking you out, yada, yada, yada. And Bud like, all right, cool. Like, let's bet $1 million. Let's bet $1 million. And as the conversation continues to go and go and go, you hear, why not take the easy route? Why not take the easy road? That came out of Spence's mouth. Why not take the easy road? You can't just casually gloss over that. Now, like I told him, I said, I'll even do you a favor and I'll say Spence's easy road was the better opposition between the two. I can't deny that. I can't deny that. Even though I think East Cavaliasquez, 'Cavaliasquez was better than, If not, I won't say he's better, but I think he'd give a lot of the top dogs in that division a damn good fight. He's a damn good boxer. He's a damn good boxer. Ortiz and Bud are just, those are special vessels. But do I believe he can give a motherfucking Sean Porter or Earl Spence? Yeah, I think he can really get him a good fight. Especially at I think he can give Earl Spence a really good fight because they're both pretty left-footed. They have similar styles. Very similar, actually. I may even say Cavaliasquez is the sharper counterpuncher. I think Earl beats him, but I think he gives him a really good fight. Anybody, a lot of the fighters, who are pretty fleet-footed, eventually, I see them eventually breaking Cavaliasquez down and really starting to get his rhythm and understand that, he can't stay in front of me. And they'll use that shit to their advantage. Like, with Sean Porter, I think that fight will be entertaining early on. By the time you hit the middle rounds, it's going to start looking like how I did with him and Danny Garcia. He's just going to start cutting angles on him and getting around him. Same with Thurman. A Thurman that's active and at his best. So I think, Cavaliasquez is a really good win. I real life do. I've been saying that for some time. Since they fought. That was the first time he popped up on my radar. But nonetheless, I'm taking Danny Garcia, Kell Brook, and Sean Porter over Jeff Horn. I'm taking him over Amir Khan. I'm taking him over what's my man's name? Jose Benavidez. I'm taking the version that Earl Spence, the version of Kell Brook that Earl Spence fought over Terrence Crawford's version that he fought last year in November. I'll gladly take that version of Kell Brook. Gladly, unapologetically. I won't even entertain the shenanigans of saying, oh man, no. Kell Brook was the better fighter against Earl Spence than he was with Bud. That just is what it is. So I won't deny that Spence's easy road was the better opposition. I won't deny that. However, he took the easy road to avoid Bud. He most definitely did. That shit is undeniable. And in the process of him doing that, he started putting all the stipulations, all 60-40 and 80-20 and 30-70 and all that bullshit. And at first I was like, I can understand it, he will be the fighter that would be selling the fight. He's the A side. You dig? As far as just welterweights go, he has the better resume in the division. So I'm like, I can give him that. I can give you the A side. But it started irritating me when all these niggas would go, oh man, everything was about the A side of who you fought on your resume and in the now, as opposed to accomplishments amassed. And my thing is, Bud is the far more accomplished fighter. At first, I could understand it, but when his dick riders started hopping on there talking about, oh man, who is Bud fought? He ain't fought nobody. He, this and that and the third. Yada yada yada. I'm like, all right, I'm cool on this shit. 50-50 now. And I'm like, what is you saying? Like, what's your reasoning as to why it should be 60-40? What's your reasoning? But all they could say was, Spence has the better resume. All right, well, normally that would be pretty indicative of a reason to give somebody the bigger piece of the pie. But it's like, also, Spence, he's a unified world champion. He hasn't been through multiple divisions. He damn sure ain't undisputed. So when his accomplishments eventually come back into the ordeal. And I'm not privy to that, oh man, Al Heyman gave Bobby him a price and all this and all that. I don't agree with that shit at all. I'm not falling for that. I'm not falling for that, man. Al Heyman, they also gave Anthony Joshua a price of $50 million with a 24-hour confirmation deadline. The PBC does play a lot of semantics when it comes to, their fighters to set a narrative. And they dumbass fans just run with it. They just run with it and, you know, take it as the gospel truth. They've been doing that for some time now. A long time. I just can't get behind that shit, man. You're not about to sit here and tell me, oh, man, Terrence Crawford. Nah, Brody. No. When you unpack the situation, Spence was running from Bud. Track star status, honestly. Track star status. We can say whatever it is we want to say about Keith Thurman and how he cowered in his presence of Spence, but when Bud ran up on Spence and was like, what's shaking, what's good, bro, he ain't want no drama. He ain't want no drama. At least that's how it looked. I don't think these cats are scared of one another. These is gladiators and professional prize fighters, but they would rather take the more calculated, you know, they're more calculated in their and who they decide to fight. I will say that. And due to Floyd, it's a reason for that. I can't even be mad at him, man. Motherfuckers are scared to lose they They scared to let go of their belt. Because if you lose, more like Anthony Joshua is a prime example of it. When he got embarrassed by Andy Ruiz, it was people contemplating he should retire off of one loss. He just needs to go on ahead and retire. My coach was saying that shit. He needs to just go ahead and retire. Retire? Because he lost once. He lost once on a mistake that he made in the fight. An egregious mistake. Andy Ruiz didn't find a hole or a deficiency in his game. He made a mistake and got punished for it. I'm going to ride that shit till the wheels fall off because that's what happened. But because he made that one mistake and it cost him that fight in a huge upset, he should just retire. You dig? This 50 and old shit that Floyd, you know, this precedent of perfection that Floyd kind of set in place is kind of got people in the fans in particular, because, you know, as much as motherfuckers think we don't matter, we, you know, certain sentiments that we echo that the fighters eventually are gonna hear, and they're gonna follow suit because we're their bread and butter. Without us, they don't eat. So, all right, cool. Y'all don't, you know, this. Everybody want to be undefeated. All right, cool. You know what? I'll be more calculated. You dig? Before I take an actual risky fight, we're gonna build that fight and build that fight and build that fight and build that fight until it's at a fever pitch high. And if I lose, at least I'm still getting properly compensated for it. No. It should not be like that. God damn it. It should not be like that. Like I said before, people take so much time trying to build a super fight for one fight. By the time y'all get to that fight, y'all could have had 2 or 3 fights up. Y'all could have had a Gaddy Ward. Nobody cares about that though, because everything, you know, money supersedes legacy. So it's understandable when, you know, it's understandable with motherfuckers taking calculated risk as it comes, you know, when it comes to their career. I understand it. I understand it. As bad as it pisses me off, I get it. I real life do. But we cannot get over the fact that Spence did avoid Bud. He did. He did. But, you know, the ends just so happens to justify the means, because his route to avoidance, it was justified. It was justifiable avoidance. The PBC just so happened to have the better, you know, the better stable at welterweights. All right, cool. We don't need Bud at the time, but they most definitely did avoid him. So it's a gray area. It's a gray area. It's gonna be motherfuckers who argue that he didn't look at the opposition that he fought, as opposed to Terrence Crawford, and it's, oh, how's he ducking him? How's he ducking him? How's he ducking? He fought Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia is not Bud. I'm sorry. Like, I love Sean Porter, but Sean Porter isn't Bud. I think him and Bud is gonna be a fireworks type of fight. But I do think Bud is gonna win that fight in the same fashion of a Keith Thurman. I do. Sean Porter isn't the threat to the Spence that Bud is and was when they fought him. So I just really need niggas to understand that shit and stop the bull, stop with the goofy shit. You feel me? Stop with the bozo shit. Homie was avoiding him. He was avoiding him, man. If I can be honest about the situation as a fellow Nebraskan, y'all got to be honest about the situation yourselves. Did Spence avoid Bud? Yes, he did. Did the ends justify the means? Yes, it did, because it enhanced his resume. It enhanced his resume a little bit better than now. Granted, a win over Bud is a win over that usurps every other win except even a Manny Pacquiao. I would usurp it because Bud is still in his prime. He's still in his prime years. He's an undefeated young lion in the division with a strap, former undisputed champion. Yes, the ends justify the means. So a win over Bud would have been a big deal, but it'd have been better than any win that he's gotten thus far. It would have been. Nonetheless, I understand why he did it. The ends do justify the means. We can't, but we cannot gloss over the fact that he did avoid Bud. And you goofies is just, oh no, man, James Crawford ain't this and that. It's just the most to say. Anything to denigrate the champ. Anything to denigrate the champ. Fuck out of here, man. He avoided him. We can't get over that. We cannot get over that. You can say whatever it is you want to say, but that is an undisputed fact that he avoided Terrence Crawford. So I'm gonna really need y'all niggas to get y'all ducks in order and just stop with the bullshit. He's fought the better opposition, but he avoided the best opposition. He avoided it. And the fact that he said it isn't like he just, he did it in action. He gave that nigga the blueprint on what he was gonna do. Why not take the easy road? He said that. He said that. We just disregard that. That shit did come out of his mouth. He said that. He said that. Fuck out of here. Is Tommy still here? I think Tommy peaced out. God damn it. So, yeah, man. Do yourselves a favor, man, and stop playing yourselves. He avoided Bud. Let's just be honest about it. But his route of avoidance or his detour route was a necessary evil because it put him in front of some of the best welterweights in the division. Just not the best welterweight in the division. Deuces.